The Tale of a King. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. Royce wakes from his nap. His body still heavy with exhaustion after 2 days of grueling travel. With a weary sigh, he rose out of bed, stretching his stiff muscles. Royce, a young man in his early 20s, had grown up on a modest farm under the care of his mother, Susan. She had never spoken of his father, dismissing his questions with the same cryptic refrain. Some things in life are better left unknown. From an early age, Royce had always felt out of place, as though he didn't belong in the small colony of Arma. Though it has been his home, it never truly felt like one. When his mother passed away unexpectedly from an illness, Royce was thrust into adulthood far too soon. He struggled to maintain the family farm, but after 2 poor harvests, the weight of the circumstances became unbearable. Determined to find a better life and a deeper sense of purpose, he packed his belongings and set out for Hillford, a bustling town known as a haven for adventurers. Hillford was a hotspot for thrill-seekers and wanderers alike. Its numerous alehouses served as a meeting grounds for those eager to find companions out for their journey. Among them, Brutus Alehouse and Inn held a reputation for hosting seasoned travelers. But with its popularity came its pitfalls. Brawls were as common as laughter within its walls. As Royce stirs, the muffled sounds of revelry seep through the wooden walls and floorboards of his room. Laughter, shouting, and the occasional clatter of tankards reach his ear. Evening had come. He straps on his worn boots, fastens his cloak, and stands before the door. It's time to see if this place lives up to its reputation, he thinks to himself. Gripping the cold metal handle, Royce pulls the creaky door open and steps out. He descends the stairs into the lively heart of the alehouse. The air is thick with the smell of ale and roasted meat. The room alive with music from a band tucked into a dimly lit corner. Tables are crowded with mugs, dice games, and travelers deep in conversation. As Royce weaves through the room, a man with a sly smirk bumps into him without apology, disappearing into the crowd. Royce pauses, taking in his surroundings. His gaze settles on 2 individuals seated at the bar, each exuding an air of quiet independence. A good place to start, he thinks. What appears to be a younger woman, whose clothing matches that of a well-experienced traveler, sits between a few patrons. Sitting a few seats away in the dark corner is a burly man with long, gray hair and impressive beard. My friends, we come to our first choice. Who should Royce approach first? My friends, it is time to vote! It is time to vote. Your votes matter, my friends. Your votes matter. Get them in. We have a dead even lock right now. A dead even lock. Well, fuck, I'm gonna be able to make a drink. As we wait, we're about a minute left to vote, my friends. We are a dead even lock. 4-4. I will not be the tiebreaker. I will leave it up to a D20 if we have a tie. No, not yet, Nikki. We're not. Oh, there's another vote. The girl. For those of you guys who wanted the guy, we're running out of time. Time begins to run out. Time is running out. The girl is about to win. Yeah. All right, the girl wins. The girl wins. All right. Royce weaves his way through the crowded alehouse, sidestepping groups of rowdy patrons and dodging the occasional stray elbow. The room buzzes with energy, laughter, arguments, and the clinking of tankards. His eyes lock on the woman sitting at the counter. Her relaxed posture and quiet confidence set her apart from the chaos around her. Determined, Royce makes his way toward her, squeezing into the narrow space between her and a man nursing his drink. The man shoots him a disgusted glance, but Royce pays him no mind, his attention fixed on the woman. "Hey," Royce says, clearing his throat. "My name is Royce. How are you doing tonight?" The woman turns to face him, her lips curling into a faint smile. "I'm doing wonderful, thank you. And you?" For a moment, Royce is caught off guard. Her emerald green eyes seem almost luminescent, and he stumbles over his words. I'm great. Yeah, I'm doing great. So what brings you here tonight?" She tilts her head slightly, studying him with mild amusement. "I just got into town," she replies, her tone calm and self-assured. "I heard this place is full of adventurers, and I was hoping to find somebody to travel with." Royce's heart skips a beat. "That's actually why I'm here too," he says, his confidence starting to build. "I'm looking for someone to join me on a journey to the east." Her expression shifts, her brows knitting together in mild disbelief. "The east," she repeats. "You mean across the sea?" A grin spreads across Royce's face, and he nods eagerly. "Exactly. To uncharted lands, places full of wealth, adventure, and opportunity." The woman pauses, her gaze steady as she considers his words. She picks up her mug, taking a long, deliberate drink before setting it down with a soft thunk. Then, she places a hand lightly on Royce's shoulder and leans in just slightly. Her voice low but steady. "You're mad," she says, though there is no malice in her tone. If anything, it carries a hint of curiosity. "The east is dangerous. They say heathens and monsters come from there. Anyone who sails in that direction is either crazy or desperate." She hesitates, her expression softening as though weighing her next words. "But something about this feels like destiny." Royce's pulse quickens and he straightens up. "So you'll join me?" She reaches into her pocket, pulling out a small handful of silver coins. With a quiet clink, she drops them on the counter, then stands and adjusts her cloak. "I'll sleep on it," she says, her tone cool but not dismissive. "Meet me here at sunrise, and I'll give you my answer then." As she turns to leave, Royce calls out after her, "Wait! I never got your name. She pauses mid-step, glancing back over her shoulder. A faint smirk plays on her lips as she replies, Octavia. Then, without another word, she disappears into the crowd. For a moment, Royce remains frozen in place, watching her go. A smile spreads across his face. He doesn't know much about her, yet something about Octavia feels important. Well then, he thinks to himself, should I go speak with the older man? Or is Octavia enough? My friends, we come to the second question. What should Royce do? Vote! 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 What a banger of a song. What a banger. We got a 6-2 vote, closing in on a minute left to vote. 6-2 vote, closing in on 1 minute. I'm glad. Hey! Seven to 2. Time is running out. We are under a minute to get your vote in. We're gonna need a crazy influx of votes here. 8 to 2 to sway the tide as we have 10 fucking people voting. As we have 10 people voting here tonight. This is what I'm talking about, my friends. We used to only have maybe 3, 4, or 5 people voting. People are actually making a difference in the voting process right now. As we come into the last 30 seconds. As you can see the timer up above. You can see the timer here. All right, speak with the man wins. Speak with the man wins. All right, my friends. Royce shifts his focus, making his way toward the older man seated alone in the shadowed corner of the room. The man's weathered features and sturdy frame immediately give him the air of a seasoned warrior. Someone who has seen more than his fair share of battles. Royce stops a few steps away from him and clears his throat. Excuse me, he says, his voice steady despite the nervous bubbling underneath. Mind if I have a word with you? The man looks up slowly, his piercing eyes locking onto Royce. His face is tough and scarred, etched with the marks of countless trials. His expression reveals neither warmth nor hostility, but a guarded indifference. Yes? The man replies curtly. Royce takes a deep breath and steps closer. I'm looking for somebody to accompany me, he begins, keeping his tone firm and purposeful. Someone as strong-willed as they are strong in body. I plan to sail east. The man leans back in his chair, a smirk forming on his lips as he lets out a low chuckle. East, you say? And you, what are you? A mere boy? Think you can survive the rough seas and set foot in the land of the heathens? His voice is laced with sarcasm and his amusement is evident. Royce squares his shoulders, refusing to let the insults rattle him. As a matter of fact, but before he can finish, the man cuts him off with a firm shove to the chest. Royce stumbles back a step, stunned more by the abruptness of the gesture than its force. "Look, boy," the man says, his tone hard and dismissive. "I have no interest in joining you on a fool's errand to certain death. The East is no place for the faint-hearted or the foolish. Good luck, you'll need it." Without waiting for a response, the man rises from his seat and strides towards the door, leaving Royce standing there, mouth slightly agape. For a moment, Royce is too stunned to speak. He watches the older man disappear into the crowd, then shakes his head with a wry smile. "Well then," he mutters under his breath. "Who needs that guy anyway?" Excited and satisfied with the recruitment of Octavia, Royce decides to order another drink and settles into a chair near the band, letting the music wash over him. The musicians, to his surprise, are especially talented, their melodies weaving seamlessly through the lively chatter of the alehouse. He chuckles to himself. Surely a man named Steve didn't hire them. The night wears on, and Royce indulges in a few more drinks than he had originally planned. The room begins to sway ever so slightly. With a sigh, he pushes back from the table and attempts to stand. The motion less graceful than he would have liked. Maybe that last drink wasn't such a great idea, he thinks, steadying himself. Still holding his half-full mug, Royce starts making his way towards the stairs. The alehouse remains as lively as ever, the crowd thick and noisy. He carefully navigates through the maze of patrons when, without warning, a chair scrapes backward into his path. Royce stumbles, his balance faltering, and the contents of his mug slosh forward, spilling all over the man in front of him. The skinny man freezes, then turns slowly, his face contorted in fury, his fists clenched at his sides, and his voice rises above the din room. "You did not." My friends, we are met with our third decision of the night. Our third decision of the night. What will Royce do? Nope, hold on. Nope, not that one. Hold on. Get your votes in. What will Royce do? Will he prepare to fight, or will he stay passive? Let's see it, chat. What will Royce do? Also, Kick, thank you so much for putting us on the front page on this very special night. Skull to Kick. What will Royce do, my friends? After spilling a drink over the patron in front of him, and he does not seem very happy. He does not. 5-4 as we approach 1 minute. 9 votes are in. Who else is going to get their say in the writing of the tale of a king? 6-4, 7-4. Who is getting their votes in? Get them in now. Get them in now. I don't know what I'm voting for, but we fight. I like intense heat. That's a great response. 7-5. Just under a minute. We have 40 seconds left. Get your votes in, my friends. You are writing the book alongside me. You are deciding the path of our hero. 7-5 with under 20 seconds left. 7-6. 7-7. Woo! We got a barn burner with under 10 seconds. Who's going to be the deciding vote? Or are we going to... Oh, 8-7 at the last second. 8-7 at the last second. My brothers and sisters, we prepare to fight. We prepare to fight. Royce squares his shoulders, meeting the man's glare with unwavering defiance. His grip on his mug in his hand is tightened. Yeah, I actually did, he says, his voice steady, but with a sharp edge and a slight tone of drunkenness. What are you gonna do about it? The skinny man's lips curled into a wicked grin, his knuckles cracking as he balls his fist. What am I going to do about it? He repeats mockingly. Oh, you're about to find out, drunk boy. Before Royce has time to react, the man lunges forward, driving a fist straight into Royce's stomach. The air is knocked out of him. He doubles over, clutching his midsection. The room seems to spin for a moment as Royce stumbles backward, gasping for breath. Come on, boy, the man taunts, raising his fist again. That's all you've got? Royce recovers just enough to swing his mug in retaliation, aiming for the man's head. But the man sees it coming and sidesteps with ease. Royce's momentum works against him, causing him to stagger, leaving himself wide open. The skinny man doesn't waste the opportunity. He grabs Royce by the collar and delivers a brutal uppercut to his jaw. Pain explodes in Royce's head, and he stumbles backward into the table, knocking over mugs and plates as he falls. The crowd around them roars with excitement. The alehouse now fully alive with the chaos of the fight. Some patrons cheer on Royce, while others egg the skinny man to finish him. Royce struggles to his feet, his vision swimming. Blood trickles from the corner of his mouth, but he refuses to back down. He throws a wild punch, more out of desperation than skill. The skinny man easily dodges it and counters with a crushing blow to Royce's temple. The world around Royce tilts violently. He hears the muffled roar of the crowd, feels the rough wood of the floor as he collapses, but the door seems distant. His head throbs and darkness creeps into the edges of his vision. The last thing Royce hears before everything goes black is the skinny man's mocking voice. Told you to watch yourself, boy. Everything goes black as Royce collapses to the floor. As the darkness consumes him, Royce feels weightless, as though he's floating in an endless void. For a moment, there's nothing. No sound, no pain, no thought. Then, far in the distance, a faint glimmer pierces the emptiness. The light is soft at first, barely more than a pinprick, but it grows steadily, pulsing with life, until it fills every corner of the void. The brilliance is overwhelming, yet it doesn't hurt to look at. Instead, it envelops Royce in a profound sense of calm, washing away every ounce of fear, pain, and doubt. A voice echoes from within the light, deep and resonant, like the sound of the earth itself speaking. It is neither male nor female, but something greater. A voice that Royce feels as much as he hears. Royce. The sound of his name reverberates through him, stirring something deep in his soul. You are not ready yet, and have much to learn. But you are destined for great things. Your journey is only beginning. It does not end here. The words carry weight beyond their meaning, filling Royce with a strange combination of hope and responsibility. He tries to speak, to ask who or what is addressing him, but his voice is swallowed by the vast light. From within the radiance, a hand begins to take shape. It's enormous yet delicate, glowing with ethereal warmth. The hand reaches out, and when it touches Royce's cheek, the sensation is indescribable. It is as though the essence of life itself flows through him. A warmth so profound it fills every fiber of his being with serenity. For the first time in his life, Royce feels whole. All the questions that have haunted him, all the loneliness and uncertainty, seem to melt away in that moment. But then, the warmth begins to fade. The touch turns icy, and an unsettling chill spreads across his face. The serene light dims, shrinking back into the void from which it came. Royce tries to hold on to it, to cling to the fleeting sense of peace, but it slips away like water through his fingers. Water. Droplets begin to fall onto Royce's face, cold and sharp, snapping him out of a trance. The brilliant light vanishes entirely, replaced by a dull, blurry haze. His head pounds and his body feels heavy, but he's awake, or something close to it. Out of the corner of his eye, he notices a shadowy figure leaning over him. He struggles to focus, blinking against the dim light of the room. Slowly, two small circles of vivid green pierce through the haze, drawing his attention. A voice, sharp and teasing, breaks the silence. Look who decided to wake up. The figure steps closer, revealing a woman with dark hair and those impossibly striking green eyes. Royce blinks again, trying to make sense of where he is and what just happened. The warmth of the godlike touch lingers faintly on his cheek, like the ghost of a dream. But was it a dream? Or something more? The words of the voice echo in his mind. You are destined for great things. And that, my brothers and sisters, scene! Chapter 1 of The Tale of a King comes to a close.